Hello, guys. It's the Roby Coleman. I'm here with Tempo Finances, and on this channel, we teach you guys how to get rid of debt and how to build wealth. I hope everybody out there is safe. I hope everybody is doing well. Today, I want to go over a couple of things, just dealing with the debt crisis that's going on in America, and I want to constantly keep drawing my attention to you guys and let you guys know, that there is a debt crisis out here and it's at an alarming rate. And us as the hardworking American people, we need to know about it. We need to start taking heed. We need to start attacking this situation before it gets bigger than it already is. And I'm only one person, so I know that I can't tell. I only can get through to a certain amount of people, but at the end of the day, I have a job to do, and my job is to build awareness and also to help people, right? Help people that's getting out, to help people that get out of these situations, um, with their debts, right? With financial hardships that they are in, and that they don't really have to be in. That's the main thing. You don't have to be in these situations, and I'm here to show how to get out of those situations, which are debts, and showing you what mistakes that you made in the process of doing it. So that's my job. That's what I'm here for. So today I want to show you guys the situations that we are in and draw you guys attention to what's going on out in the world. Just give you some statistics, give you some facts, give you some numbers. So let's get into it. So if you look at the board, you can see the first bulletin up here is 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Like, that is huge. 70%. 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Think about that. So that's almost every household in America. 70%, guys. 70% of Americans right now are living paycheck to paycheck. So think about all the people out here right now that's trying to look rich or look like they're winning. Somebody have to be perpetrating. Somebody have to be faking. Somebody has to be faking the lifestyle. Somebody has to be faking what they claim that they have and what they claim that they got going on. If 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, come on now. I wanna raise your antennas. Okay. Now, the second bulletin is 80% of Americans don't have a emergency fund. 80%. 80% of Americans don't have an emergency fund. What does that mean? What does that says, right? First off, that says that you don't have a savings, your savings, right? You don't have a savings. So if something happens, remember this bullet affects this bullet, right? So the second bullet affects this first bullet. You're living paycheck to paycheck. And the fact that you live in paycheck to paycheck, you have no emergency fund. And the fact that you have no emergency fund, if something happens to you today or tomorrow in the future, you're not going to be able to recover. You're not going to be able to help yourself. You're not going to be able to help yourself get out of that situation. You're not going to be able to help yourself get through that situation. So, for instance, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, right, and something happens to the plumbing in your house, you're not going to be able to pay for that bill. You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to pay for that bill. You're going to have to get like a handyman or somebody in the neighborhood, a neighborhood handyman to fix it up, and hopefully he don't charge you anything. Hopefully he don't, you know, charge you anything because he's not a professional person. Or if something happened to your roof at your house, or if something happened to your car, right? Something happened to your engine, something happened to your window get bust out, or two tires might go flat, right? And bust open. You don't have no emergency fund to fix that situation. Say if something happened to your kid, right? Say if something, his, God forbid, his leg break or his arm break or something like that in an event happened to your kid, then what? Right? Yes, insurance is going to pay a deductible, right? Insurance going to pay a deductible, right? Because you have insurance. But at the end of the day, you still have to pay the other part of the bill. The other part of the whatever the deductible don't charge or covers, you have to pay for that. So you have to prepare yourself for outside factors that are going to happen. And 80% of Americans don't have that. 80% of Americans don't have a emergency fund. That means 80% of Americans don't have a plan just in case something goes wrong. They don't have money set away. Don't have an emergency fund, a savings for an emergency, in the event of an emergency. Now you have to go to friends, and you have to go to family and ask for loans from family members, and ask for loans from friends. A lot of IOUs, right? I owe you this, I owe you that, I owe you this. A lot of IOUs, right? That's the situation that you're putting yourself in. So 80% of Americans are in this situation right now today. So I don't want to hear all the the gibberish, right? About how much you got your life together, how much you say you got your life together, because statistics is proven 70% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, and 80% of Americans don't even have an emergency fund. So in today's world, we call that capping. Stop lying. That's capping. Capping is equivalent to lying. Stop lying to your friends and stop lying to your family like you got your whole life put together, when in reality you don't. When in reality you really struggling, and you want to put on this persona like you're winning. You want to look like you're winning instead of just winning. The third bulletin point is 90% of Americans have some form of consumer debt, right? 90%. 90%. That's every American. That's basically every American that's living right now. That's in the United States of America. 90%. Think about how many people that live in America now. Think about it. 90% of that number have some form of consumer debt. What is consumer debt? Consumer debt, consumer debt can be consumer debt can be auto loans, student loans, personal loans, credit card debt, a mortgage, all those, a mortgage loan, um, all those are considered consumer debt. All that is consumer debt. So 90% of Americans have some form of debt, of consumer debt at that. Because there's two types of debt. One debt is considered, can be considered good debt, but consumer debt is a bad situation you don't want to be in, right? So consumer debt, 90% of Americans have that. So what that means? There's a lot of IOUs going on. So it's a lot of people right now traveling the world, going to places that they shouldn't be going, taking trips that they shouldn't be taking, trying to portray a lifestyle that they don't have. And the whole time, while you're trying to party and live a lifestyle and trying to be cool to your friends and keep up with the Joneses, you have consumer debt. You have student loans. You have a car loan right now. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. You have a car loan right now. You have an auto loan right now that you need to be trying to pay off, but instead you're trying to go to a whole nother country and have fun, or you're trying to go to expensive restaurants with your friends to try to put on a facade as if you got money for real, or as if you got your life together for real to be doing these type of things when you don't. Humble yourself, right? This next year, we need to humble ourselves. We need to humble ourselves and think about what's truly important before we can even get to the top to start doing things that we really want to do, right? Let's do things that we need to do things that we want to do, right? So 90% of Americans have consumer debt. And the problem is it's all about how you want to be viewed to the people. We need to get away from that for a moment and separate ourselves from the noise and really focus on what we need to focus on. Right now, you have a student loan debt, right? You have one right now. Yes, I'm talking to you. The person that's looking at this, you have a student loan debt. You have a person. It's somebody looking at this video. You have a personal loan. You have went to somebody, a servicer, and they have given you a personal loan, and you took that personal loan and did whatever, that's your business, whatever you did with, and now you're trying to pay back that personal loan, right? Right now you have a mortgage loan. Yeah, you have a mortgage loan right now. You have a mortgage loan right now as we speak, and you bragging to your family and to your friends that you got your mortgage loan for a 5% interest rate. Like, that's so cool. But the whole time you're on an amortized schedule, and you getting destroyed in interest payments. But you wanna brag to your friends and brag to your family, like you getting a 5% interest rate on your mortgage was the coolest thing since sliced bread, when it wasn't. Whole time you have a whole debt. That's a debt. You have a loan, right? So this is the problem in America right now. You have a credit card. Especially you. I'm talking to you. You have credit card debt right now. You done ran up 6 credit cards, 10 credit cards, 15 credit cards. I'm talking to you. You done ran up 15 credit cards, and right now you're still trying to go shopping, spend money going shopping with those credit cards, running up the tab. You're running up the tab at the shopping centers and shopping marts, right? You're running up the tab, and your credit card debt is in shambles. It's almost touching the clouds. But yet you want to go buy the fanciest clothes. You want to buy designer clothing. You you want to you want to go eat at the finest. You want to do fine dining at the finest restaurants, and you want to make it seem to the people that you got it all put together. And you have your friends and your family wondering how are you doing these things. People are wondering how he or she is doing these things. But you making people think that, oh, you have this strategic plan, like you're doing something so special when you're really not. You're really just perpetrating, and you just running up the building the tabs of the credit cards, and you're not thinking about your future because you're too busy drunk off your own ego. Y'all on Instagram and TikTok and and whatever else media platforms out there. You're all over those platforms, uh, showing people that you're living a lifestyle when in reality you're faking the lifestyle that you're living in. That's where this 90% come from. And stop me when I'm lying. Stop me. Stop me when I'm lying. That's where this 90% come from. 90% of Americans have some form of consumer debt. It's because of that, right? And then now on top of that, you want to drink, you want to party, you want to smoke, right? You want to do you're doing all the wrong things, and that's contributing. That's contributing to this. This 90% is contributing to this 80%, right? So these are things that we need to think about, and I'm just here to draw your attention to it. Next bulletin. We have 1% of Americans that actually pay off their debts. Think about it. Out of this big population in America, only 1% of Americans actually pay off their debts. 1%. Right? So only 1% of Americans actually pay off their debts. What does that mean? The other to the 99%, we got work to do. To the other 99%, we have work to do. Right? We need to get with, we need to listen at these videos. To the 99%. 1%, you good. In this video, 1%, if you don't want to look at this video, whoever's in that 1% that paid off all their debts, you're fine. You don't have to look at this video. This video does not pertain to you. But for the other 99%, oh, you need to be looking at this video. You should want to look at this video. You need to sit down right there in your seat, stop strolling, and listen to something that's worthwhile, that's going to bring progress in your life. Listen to something that's going to help your life prosper. And you need, and if you're in the 99%, you need to be listening and looking at this video. Yeah. And after you look at this video, you need to either take control of your situation on your own or get somebody like me. And there's a few others out there, but get somebody like me, right? Get with Tempo Finances and let us help you. Let us point you in the right direction. Let us put you in a situation where you're going to win so you can slide into this 1% index. Right? So what am I telling you guys? What I'm telling you guys is I have a job to do. 99% of Americans ain't paying off their debts. That's my job. My job is to get you to pay off your debt. Whatever debts that you have, it is my job to help you. I am a service to you. So the fact that it's 99% of Americans that ain't paying off their debts, that means I'm not doing a good enough job getting the message out. I'm not doing a good enough job to get things done. Because America, 99% of America is in shambles due to their debt. In this beautiful land of America, beautiful country, this beautiful country of America, I'm not doing my job making it more beautiful than it already is. I should be making America more beautiful. That's my responsibility. That's what I'm trying to do. And the only way that I can do that is by getting on these YouTubes, getting on these different platforms, and speaking to the people, speaking to all nations. Because obviously in America, 99% of Americans are actually paying off their debts. And by the way, just because, right, I want to let this be known. If you live in America, you're considered American to me. Yes, a lot of people come from a lot of different places to live in America. But once you get into America, you are a part of this statistic. So if you are from another nation, if you're from another place, yes, I respect where you're from. I respect everything about your culture, everything. I respect that 1,000%. I don't want that to get past this video. I respect your culture. I respect where you're from, everything. But you are in America, so you are living according to the American way. You are living according to the America time zone. You are a consumer in America. So the fact that you are a consumer in America, you are a part of this statistic, right? So I want to let that be clear. So if you are from another country, I don't want you to be saying, "Oh, well, he's not talking to me. I'm not American." "Oh, he's not talking to me. I'm not American." But you live in America, so yeah, you're American. When it comes to your dollars being spent, you are American. You spending American dollars, so yeah, you are in this, or you are in this stat. So I'm talking to you too. I'm talking to you too, brother and sister. I'm talking to you too. So I have to do a better job, right? I have to do a better job in helping you guys. And the only way that I can do a better job helping you guys is getting on these platforms and reaching out and reaching out and reaching out. We have the solutions. The solutions are here. And to be honest, you don't even have to go through me to get these solutions. I'm putting it on videos. If you just watch my other videos, subscribe to this page, uh, like the videos. If you just look at other videos, you don't even need me. You could just look at the videos and then just follow directions on from what I'm telling you. I'm giving you real life. I'm giving you real life case studies, right? I'm giving you real life situations of what's happening to the clients that's already with Tempo Finances, and how we getting those guys out of debt, how we getting that single mother out of debt, how we getting that mother of 3 kids out of debt, how we getting grown men out of debt, right? Hardworking men out of debt. We're showing you videos. We're showing you ways that we're showing you how to go to acquire a personal line of credit or a HELOC or a BLOC, right? We're showing you ways. We're giving you the answers for free. We're giving you free answers, right? We're giving you free answers to the solutions that are to your problems right now. You have issues. Everybody have issues. Only 1% that don't. And trust me, they still have issues. Probably not with finances. So that what I'm telling you is everybody got issues, everybody got problems. So stop walking around here like nobody has problems. You have a problem, you have issues, especially from a financial standpoint, because the stats ain't lying. So what I'm seeing on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube of these people living this type of lifestyle, somebody lying, bro. Somebody is lying because these stats are telling something else. And if you're not in these stats, again, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones that are. And from what I see, 99% of you guys are not paying off the debts that you have. And I'm talking to the people that have these debts. My job is to get you out of debt. And I will not stop until I get you out of debt. I have a job to do. And quite frankly, I'm not getting the job done because 99% of Americans are in debt. I'm trying to change that number. I'm trying to flip that number. I'm trying to flip that number man, as best as possible. I'm trying to flip that number. I want 100% of people with no debt, right? But I'm trying to flip that number. That number bothers me. The fact that I know that 99% of Americans are not actually paying off their debts, that does something to me. It's more of it's a personal knock on me, right? So I'm going to keep screaming. I'm going to keep reaching out to you guys. I'm going to keep making these videos until I can change that number. Period. Next bulletin, next point of mine is 75% of Americans die with some form of debt. That's what I'm scared of right there. That's what I'm afraid of right here. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of that. I truly, I truly get emotional sometimes because I don't like that. I don't like that number. 75% of Americans die with some form of debt. That is that is so heartbreaking to me. And for the 25% of people that's not, good job. Good job. But I care about the 75%, right? I care about the 75% that was lost in the sauce. I care about the 75% that lost the battle, lost the war. 75% of Americans lost the financial war because of debt, right? When you die with debt, now you just put all that stress on your kids. You just put all that stress on your other family members, whoever got to deal with it. You just do that debt just fell on them. And to be honest, the family members, they don't even pay the debt off. They look at it like, oh, they dead, so you just gonna have to take that, the person that had who they had the debt with, they're just gonna have to take a loss, right? But that's heartbreaking to me. I don't like that. I don't want 75% of Americans with some form of debt, right? Right? I don't want that. And what form of debt? It says some form of debt. What does form mean? Right? Form of debt means auto loans, student loans, mortgage loans, personal loans, credit card debt, right? Whatever debt that you have, they fall in one of these 5 categories. I'm gonna say it again: student loans, auto loans, personal loans, mortgage loans, credit card debt. Your situation that you're in right now, they're gonna fall in one of those categories. I don't care what you say, they're falling in one of those categories. Oh, Nikhil, how do you know? Because I do this. This is my job, right? There's no other debts there's no other category that it can fall in because this is my job. I study this stuff. You think it's easy getting up here making these videos? You think it's easy getting up here telling you guys about this stuff? I mean, I gotta do research and tons of research for this stuff, man. It is not easy getting up there talking to the world, telling the world that they need to get themselves out of debt. It's not easy coming up to the world telling people how to get themselves out of debt with personal lines of credit, with HELOCs, with BLOCs, how to use a credit card as a personal line of credit to get themselves out of debt and to build up their credit score, to go apply for a personal line of credit, how to get people out of the negative cash flow and to get them into the positive cash flow so they can go be able to go get a personal line of credit so that personal line of credit can work for them and not them working for loans. I'm sitting here trying to show you how to make money work for you, right? And you're steady going to go get loans. Now you a slave to the loans. We don't work for money. Money work for us. When you have a personal line of credit, when you have just a line of credit, period, whether if it's a personal line of credit, a HELOC, a BLOC, whatever kind of line of credit you got, your money is working for you. You are not working for the money. The money is working for you. When you have loans, you're working for the money. The loan have you mentally enslaved, mentally imprisoned, and physically, because now you have to get up and go to work and go get it done with that loan, or you're going to get it repossessed. I'm here to help the people that have loans to get out of those loans. So if you come in with a loan, I'm helping you to get out of that loan by introducing to you this personal line of credit or this HELOC or this BLOC. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. And when 75%, right? Come on, man. I don't like that. And I'm letting the world know I don't like that. I don't want nobody down with debt, man. My grandma passed away, and I made it my duty for my grandma to die with no debt. When my grandma passed away in 2024, and she had no debts. She owed nobody no money. And I'm happy about that because she was in that 25% right here. When my mom died of my orange when I was 17 years old. My mom died with no debt. And that was before I even knew what that was. But that's before I even knew what a personal line of credit was. Before I even knew what a HELOC or a BLOC or any of those things. My mom died with no debt. House paid off. But one thing I did experience though, I seen my mom cars get repossessed. Yeah, I seen that. My mom had auto loan, a couple of them, and I seen her cars get repossessed. She worked 3 jobs. She did her best to make the best living that she could possibly make. But I wish I was there to help my mom when she had those auto loans. As far as the house, she did good. For the cars, nah. Right? This is my story. This is the struggles that I went through as a kid. I seen the tow truck pull up and take out cars. I seen it. Heartbreaking, humiliating. Everybody in your neighborhood picking at you because your car just got drove out of your driveway. I personally witnessed that with my own eyes, and I personally witnessed being picked at by people in my neighborhood because of that situation. This is not a good feeling. I don't know about you guys, but it's not a good feeling. It's not something that I ever want to be a part of. So I want that to be known. The last one is 50% of retirees die with little savings. Back to dying. 50%. 50% of retirees die with little savings. People are dying with little savings. That's not fun. 50% of retirees die with little savings. I want that to sink in. 50. It's in America. 50%. So they probably had debt on top of that. And they probably still had a little bit of savings. When you retire, you're supposed to be good, man. You're supposed to be 10 toes up.